In this short video, we will see the general guidelines for configuring the IPsec for the peer that is behind NAT. The configuration of IPsec tunnels will include configuring the IKE crypto profile, IPsec crypto profile. Then you will configure the IKE gateway with IKE crypto profile and local ID, peer ID, which will be the public IP of the device, or in case if the device is behind a NAT, you should use the public NAT at IP address as the local ID on both devices. Also, you need to configure the tunnel interface and also configure our routes on your virtual router to add the routes to the remote destinations on each device. And the last thing, you will configure the IPsec tunnels itself that will include the IKE gateway, the IPsec crypto profile, and proxy IDs as the networks that you will advertise to your neighbor. Let's jump to GUI to configure the IPsec tunnel between two Palo Alto firewalls, one of which is behind NAT. So the main things you need to do is to configure your IKE gateway with the NAT at IP address. So the local ID will represent your NAT at IP address that is given to your device with NAT by your service provider, or maybe you have some router in front of your Palo Alto device. And what you need also to configure is to enable NAT traversal so that the firewall uses this mechanism to overcome the NAT and will use the port 4500 for NAT traversal. On the other side, you also need to enable this feature, and also on the other side, you need to enable passive mode so that site will not try to initiate connection to this firewall behind NAT, and this firewall behind NAT will attempt to establish tunnel to the peer with public address zone. So here, on the device that has a public IP address and is accessible from internet, you should configure IKE gateway with your local identification address, and with a peer identification address, you should use the public NAT IP address. Also, in advanced option, you should enable both of common options, enable passive mode and enable NAT traversal. Actually, that is all you need to do to have configured the IPsec tunnel on the two devices. The all other settings you can configure as usual when you configure IPsec, and there is no need for any additional configuration.